What is up, guys and Pixar fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is RTD Mirror Reviews. My name is On the Brain Cat, and today, of course, I'm reviewing the latest Pixar film that came out, and that film is Elemental. This film is directed by Sohn, who directed The Good Dinosaur that came out in 2015, and this movie stars Leah and Athie. Hopefully I said those two names right. If I didn't, I apologize. In a city where fire, land, water, and air residents live together, a fiery young woman and a go-with-the-flow guy discover something elemental, how much they actually have in common. Now, Pixar has always been one of the biggest parts of my life. I grew up with Pixar movies, ever since I watched the first Toy Story movie. But I'm not gonna lie, Pixar has been pretty mixed by people and not doing as well as they were anymore. I honestly really enjoyed some of the new Pixar films, from Turning Red, Luca, and Lightyear, from rewatchability, because I really enjoyed those Pixar films, but not much people really enjoy Pixar anymore. And I think we are living in a world where people are just very mixed on things, very mixed on movies coming out, and Elemental was very, very mixed. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too interested in this movie. The trailers look okay, like it looks very Zootopia-ish with Inside Out. So, you know, it's not a movie that I'm mostly anticipating this year. So I went into this movie with pretty low expectations. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, this movie is another big surprise of 2023. I wasn't expecting to actually enjoy this movie as much as I did. And I think one of the biggest reasons that I really loved Elemental is that this movie is a rom-com movie. This is Pixar's take on a romantic comedy. Because this movie has romantic comedy elements, but it's just put in a Pixar film, and Sohn directed this movie very well. He understands the characters, he knows what he is doing with the environment of this movie. I would say this is definitely better than The Good Dinosaur that he also directed in 2015, because I find that movie, I would say, underrated, but definitely not the best Pixar film. I think Elemental definitely improved on that movie because, man, I just want to talk about the animation in this movie because holy shit, the animation looks absolutely gorgeous in this movie. Definitely watch this movie on the biggest screen. Just the world of the Elementals, Element City, the way the animation looks, even the character designs, it is very creative. It's something that I feel like Pixar has been missing doing with their films. I thought the animation in this movie is very creative and very original. But also the characters in this movie are fantastic, from Amber and Wade, two elementals basically connecting with each other. Amber, played by Leah, is basically a fire elemental. She's basically working in her father's shop. She has anger problems and she's always frustrated, and you see her basically overcome that in the film ever since Wade, a water person, coming into her life. And I think that's one of the biggest things that spark in this movie, the chemistry between Amber and Wade. Pixar always does a great job with duos in their movies. I would even say most Pixar films' main characters are duos in their movies. And Amber and Wade is definitely one of the better duos in Pixar films because you really love their chemistry in this movie. You get to see them getting to know each other, basically forming this romance, and you really root for them to basically stay together in this film, because this is basically taking like a Romeo and Juliet type story where, of course, elementals, they cannot mix because they're both different from one another. So you really root for Amber and Wade to basically be together in this film, and you get to know these characters really well in the film to like them two together. This film is definitely hilarious. It's definitely one of the funniest Pixar films that I've seen in a while. I think the humor is honestly really creative in this film. But I would even say this is definitely one of the sweetest Pixar films that came out in a while, because again, you just root for Amber and Wade in this film, and the stuff they talked about in this film, at times, I was literally in happy tears. I was literally going off throughout the entire film. You know, I always have a soft spot for rom-coms, and Pixar's take on a rom-com, it really works in this film, especially with like the plot of this movie. We finally got something that's definitely different and original. I feel like Pixar is really great at doing something completely original. We got this movie, and we got a Leo, hopefully I said the name right, coming out next year. That looks also very creative. So I think Pixar is coming back doing original stuff again, and honestly, I'm very happy to see. Oh, never mind. Why are we getting a Toy Story 5? Seriously? But I think one of the other aspects that I liked about this film is Amber's parents in this film, because this is not just a rom-com film. This is also a delinquent story. You know, a story about different people moving to a different race. And with Elementals, it really works. And this is actually based on Peter Sohn's delinquent stories. So this is definitely a very interesting way to tell a story about this. Like Amber's father in this film, you completely understand his character and the reasons why he is very overprotective of Amber's character. It's also about where you belong and basically how you basically feel where you belong. And you really feel for Amber's parents in this film, and you definitely understand their motivations. And what's interesting about this movie as well is that this movie has no villain. You know, Pixar is known for really good villains. This movie, I would say like the world of this movie is the villain, you know? Amber and Wade, they're too different from one another, and it's really hard for them to be together. So, like, the world of Elemental is basically the villain of this movie. I find it very, very interesting. The story is not, like, you know, the best story that we've seen in a Pixar film, you know what I mean? It's not the best Pixar film. I'm not saying that this film is the best Pixar film, you know? It doesn't go on par with Toy Story, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and all that stuff. But I'm honestly very happy to say that Elemental is definitely one of the sweetest and heartwarming Pixar films that I have seen in a while. I think Peter Sohn knows what he's doing with this film, and just from the reviews of this movie, I think this movie should get more praise than it actually is. I find this so far probably the most underrated Pixar film that I have seen. Overall, Elemental is definitely one of the better Pixar films that I've seen. The chemistry between Amber and Wade is some of the better Pixar duos that I've seen. I love the voice acting. The animation in this movie is absolutely gorgeous. The lessons that we all learned, the delinquent story really works in this film. I think Elemental should definitely get more praise than it actually is, because I would say this is definitely one of the better Pixar films that I've seen, and I'm going to give Elemental an A-. So guys, that is my review of Pixar's Elemental. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. And what is your favorite Pixar film of all time? Let me know that also in the comments below. And I also want to give you guys a challenge as well in the comments below. What type of genre that you want to see Pixar do? Let me know that also in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.